Hello everybody, thank you for tuning in. Today is a very special day. We're exactly 16 weeks out and I'm gonna tell you why I stopped competing. But first, let's get some steps in, because these 12,000 steps aren't gonna be done by just me sitting around. So let's head out. Later today, we're gonna try on some posing trunks, so stay tuned. So honestly, I don't even know where to start. I used to be between 50 and 60 kilos all the time, and I thought it was time for a change. I wanted to be bigger, I wanted to be stronger, so I started going to the gym. And from the first moment I set foot in the gym and touched the weights, I was sold. This was when I was 18, 19 years old. And I just started training every single day. I just followed what I learned back in school, and I just started to create my own routine around this. And over the first 1 or 2 years, I made a lot of progress, and people saw that. There was one guy in the gym, his name is Sherman. I still owe him to this day, because he told me, "Hey Dan, you know, you could be a bodybuilder. You have what it takes to be a bodybuilder." And back in the day, I was like, sure, I mean, I don't know what it means. I knew bodybuilding, I liked bodybuilding, but I never thought about myself doing bodybuilding. I got intrigued and I wanted to know more about it. That year, Sherman, this guy, he was gonna do his competition. I saw him going through the process. I saw him competing. I wasn't there, but I saw the pictures, I saw the videos, and I just knew that that was what I wanted to do. I started actively chasing bodybuilding, I guess when I was 20, 21 years old. My first competition was a year after, so we're talking 2016 there. In between the time I started training and the moment I started prepping for the show, so many things in my life had changed. I had to drop people that weren't in line with my goals. I kind of had to be this lone wolf. And so when it came around to competition prep, I had this massive tunnel vision of just wanting to succeed so bad. And I guess it can be a good thing, but with me, it drove me to the point where it actually worked against me. Back in 2016, I started out with one coach, and after 2 weeks of starting out with him, he went to a different country because he was gonna start a different business there, like a car wash. Because it was my first competition, I wanted to have a coach that was there. So I went into this other gym, and there was this ex-IFBB pro bodybuilder. Just because he was an ex-IFBB pro and I had this massive tunnel vision, I believed everything this guy said, and that's where it went wrong. Like, real bad. So this guy started to put me on certain protocols that were extreme for my age, for my level of bodybuilding, and I just followed it because I wanted to win so bad. I wanted this. I knew this was what I wanted. But if I could just go back in that time and just tell myself like, hey man, chill, just follow a single plan, don't do any crazy stuff, you'll get there, that would have saved me a lot of problems. I went with this guy for a couple of weeks, and then he decided he wanted me to do a competition sooner than I had planned. We had to do this crazy protocol of him where we eat an apple and then drink an amino shake, and that was all we did for the day. Understand how much tunnel vision I had to have to believe this and to actually do this, but I did it, and I did that competition, and it was the shittiest competition I could ever have done for my first competition. When you're thinking about your first kiss or your first date or whatever, you imagine it to be special, and so should your first competition be. But my first competition was rushed, not prepared properly, and I just didn't get the right feeling from it. But even though that happened, I still pushed on to do the competition I wanted to do in the first place, which was about 2 months after that first one. In between that first one that I did and the second one that I did, I decided to drop that crazy coach, which was a very good thing for me to do. Actually, the guy who told me I got what it takes to do bodybuilding, Sherman, he took me in and he helped me to prep for the second competition that I was gonna do, which was actually planned to be my first one. And so you can already imagine I had like 3 different approaches throughout the prep, so there wasn't any straight line within. I was still using the same drugs that the other guy told me to take because I was afraid of dropping them, because I didn't know what that was gonna do to my physique in the short term, and I still had a competition to go to. I guess when you want something so bad, you do anything for it. It can either work for you or against you. In this case, it worked against me. So I went into that second competition not in a good position, mentally, physically, it wasn't the place for me to be in back then. But I guess I needed to learn that lesson. This competition then has its own very own story, which is also not a very good one. Back now. I started 4 weeks out on a completely different protocol. Sherman did his best to, you know, fix me up to be ready on time for the competition. So we went into this competition December 2016. It was a competition that was going to last 2 days. The first day is comparisons. The second day is your posing routine. I went in, I was excited, but I knew I wasn't at 100% because I made mistakes. This whole blurry prep also created a lot of stress for me physically, mentally, which prep will do already by itself. So imagine if you have to go through all these different stages with different coaches and friendships being jeopardized and all that stuff. So I was mentally very taxed at that time, making some bad decisions. I went into this competition and I got first call out. Can you imagine that? Like going through a prep like that and still getting the first call out. And I was like, yes, I'm gonna do this, yes. Did the comparisons. I tried my best to show all my best sides. We went back. Next day, there was our posing routine. This is where I made such a big mistake. I knew the song I was posing on from finish to end. I knew when it had to start. I knew when it had to end on which lyrics. I knew exactly which pose I had to hit on which beat. So I went through my posing routine. I did that.
I'm done.
And then the music kept on playing. And I was like, what's happening? I was standing on stage, crowd in front of me, standing my posing trunks, and I was like a statue. I couldn't move. Like looking into the judges, I'm looking into the audience, I'm looking to the sound guy. I'm like, what is going on here? And instead of just freestyling my posing routine like I should have done and thanking the judges after it, I walked away and I made a signal like this, like, oh my God, so stupid. Literally everything that could have went wrong there. And so I came off stage and I just felt blasted. I gave everything to this prep. In my perception, I nearly spent all my savings. I lost my job. I lost a couple of friends. I spent my health, and this is how it ended. Well, I still did the first call out, so I should be making top 5, right? So here we go into the award ceremony, and I'm standing there and they're calling out the guys who are in the top 5, and they don't call my number. I remember thinking, this is not real. I was in the first call out. I should be in the top 5. This is not real. What is going on? And so I get a medal. I get pulled off stage like, thank you and see you next time. And my friends who were in the same team as me, most of them got a placing in top 5. Not what they wanted, but they got a placing. And I was just so angry. That's the only word I can describe. I was so angry, and I thought that I was angry with the world. I thought that I was angry with my previous coach. I thought that I was angry with the league, you know, the IFBB for pulling this on me. But in reality, the only one I was angry with was myself. But it took me some months, even years, to figure that out, because it was my own mistake that I had this experience, that I let this happen to me. I guess that's just a lesson that I had to learn, which then led me to thinking like bodybuilding is not for me. Not because I lost one time, but I lost so much more than the competition. Like I said, my health was to bits. I had all the side effects that you can get from using performance enhancing drugs because I used crazy dosages which were told to me by this crazy coach. You know, the whole mental stress of it that comes along with it, that wears off after the competition, then just all dawns down on you and you're like, I went into this black hole really of like, what am I gonna do? I had no job at the time. My circle was very small because the guys that I did the competition with, I distanced myself from them because I felt so ashamed. I felt so like ashamed for what I did, ashamed for how I placed. I didn't want to be seen. I just wanted to be on my own. I guess that's actually what I needed, because I started, you know, standing back up. I started focusing on getting into personal training. I started doing more courses, and then that was the next thing for me, right? Personal training. So now I'm teaching other guys how they can grow muscle. Now I'm helping other people, and I found a passion in that. But I let go of the fire that I wanted to become a pro bodybuilder. Why should I give up all that stuff, like my health, my friends, my job, for a plastic trophy, if even I get that trophy? That was due to the experience that I had because of the actions that I did. It's only since this year that I have decided to come back and to show that I am actually a bodybuilder and that I do actually have what it takes to be a bodybuilder, like Sherman told me back in the day. This year I'm gonna do it right, and I'm not only gonna return, I'm gonna stay, and I'm gonna come for that dream that I had back in the days of becoming a pro. But this time we're gonna do it a whole lot smarter. I'm just very excited for the periods to come. It's 16 weeks out now, so that means we're in legitimate prep territory, and it's time to start chipping off. It's time to start digging deep. It's time to feel like shit, and I'm ready for it. I'm here for it. I'm like, let's get on with this, because now is my chance to prove to myself, mainly myself, but also everybody else, that I do have what it takes, and that's what we're gonna do. So today we're gonna try on some posing trunks to see if I can find the one that I want for my competition and also for my check-in pictures and posing practice. First up now, I got a pool session, so I'm gonna head out and train some back, and then I'll see you guys back for when we go and try out those posing trunks. Back from the gym, and I had my post-workout meal. I actually improved my block pulls over last week, so I did 8 reps with 190 kilos now, which means I get to be going up to 200 kilos next rotation. For now, it's time to go on a road trip. So let's go. So we are going to, tell me, where are we going to?
Gonna shop.
What we're going to shop for?
For you.
And what are we going to shop? We are going to shop for posing trunks. Something else that just came to mind as a reason why I actually stopped competing was the people around me. I've let them influence my decisions. If competing or bodybuilding to them is not of value, they're gonna say to you like, why should you compete? Like, what's the point? Blah, 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 blah. And if you have a lot of these people around you, then this will start to influence you, unless you are very clear about the fact that you want to compete. In that moment, you know, the period after the competition back in 2016, I obviously was very vulnerable to critics and from the people around me, because I pushed them to the side for this goal, and I didn't achieve the goal. Well, I did the competition, but you know, not in the way I wanted to. And this then got to me in a way where I was thinking like, yeah, indeed, why should I compete? And that was until my friend Red, which actually I started out together with him, and I actually got him into bodybuilding. This year or last year, he just put me straight. He's like, you remember your goals, right? You know you have the potential, right? And I was just like, yeah. And he had to convince me like 2 or 3 times before I even started thinking about, yeah, maybe I should do it again. But he got to me, and now we're here. Okay, so we're here at Body and Fashion. This is a shop where we're gonna try and find some posing trunks. So I'm curious.
All the words you speak mean nothing more to me, 'cause let's start over now. Rewind, and I won't let you go. I need you by my side. I need you
got the posing trunks. We got 2 different colors. The fit is just perfect, just what I wanted, so I'm very excited for this. We got it. We got it. Thank you.
Super.
We are back from The Hague and we have, let me show you guys, secured the bag. Like I said, we got 2 posing trunks. One is gonna be for practice and doing check-ins, and the other one is gonna be just for the competition. So I'll save that one for you guys. But we had an incredible service from the people at Body and Fashion Store, so big shout out to you guys. I'm very happy with the trunks that I have right now. I just can't wait to wear them and be on stage. As a wrap up for the video today, I've let my decisions be influenced by the people around me, and because of the bad experiences I had with my first competition, I didn't pursue bodybuilding actively for years thereafter. However, I never really stopped bodybuilding. I always kept a meal plan, I always kept training, and I always tried to grow. But it's simply been a year right now that I'm actively trying to chase bodybuilding again. And the spark has been lit, guys. I'm telling you, the spark has been lit. The morale of today is, don't listen to other people. If you have a dream, go for it. I think this is so cliche, but it still happens to you, where you start to listen to the people around you and maybe give up on your dreams or sabotage it, or, you know, just don't do what you need to do in order to get there. So listen to yourself, try to learn always, but stay true to your goals and your own values and not those of other people, because they are their values and you have your own, and that's what's gonna make you happy. So I'm very happy I made this choice right now. So that's a video for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you didn't already, please make sure to subscribe and turn on video post notifications so you don't miss a video. And if you like this video, please like it and comment. It helps a lot. Thank you guys, and see you for the next time. Peace.